my jam! Be all that you can be, that is what they told me. Made me all I can be, how they try to mold me. Mix a little bit of the best of the rest. Fight off Weapon X, well, we'll see who's next.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibottom coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Marvel's Deadpool. As you can see for the package, really cool image of Deadpool on the front that actually carries over and wraps around both on the right and left side. So you get a real cool image of him. Bottom section here just has Deadpool's logo, same with the actual top. You come around here to the back of the package, you got various contact information for Sideshow, as well as a listing for their website, and then the black and white image of that actual image that we see here on the front. Then it opens just like a lot of these 1/6 scale figures. You got that right there, and then you got Deadpool on the side, and then again you can see that the image that was on the back wraps around here on the sides of the package, and then instead of that glossy logo you get a white logo with his red eyes, which is cool. And then come around here, you got his logo that's at the center of a bullseye, and then you slide this little section out, and you've got some foam inserts just like that, and it protects the figure within. But for the packaging, that's about it for it. So without further ado, let's get this guy out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Merc of the Mouth Deadpool opened up and out of its packaging. And, you know, I'm just going to say it. I've always wondered why he calls himself the Merc with the Mouth. I mean, he's a mercenary, so shouldn't it be a merce with a mouth? I don't know. I digress. But here we have him, and this guy comes with a lot of really cool stuff. Now, starting off first, taking a look at the hands that we have for him, coming down a little bit, you can see that he comes with several different ones. Getting his swords out of the way, we'll take a look at these here in a second. First, in addition to two hands that are currently on him that allow him to hold his swords very nicely, as you can see, he's got a right hand that is done up with him just giving a little bit of a thumbs up, or, you know, maybe a little A pointing at him kind of thing. Real great detail on here. I love the amount of paint detail that they got on this with the wear and just the overall kind of worn look on him. Really quite impressive. Now, one thing that you're noticing is that he doesn't have a peg on here, but they do give you a ton of extras, which I really do appreciate. Most of the time they're already attached to the hands, but as long as we have them, that's all I care about. You get a lot here. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, it looks like about 10 of these, so really very cool that they include that. So you can swap those out as you see fit. He also comes with this right hand that's kind of like an A-OK, kind of look like, alright buddy, you know, something like that, or I don't know, it is Deadpool, it could be something perverted, you never know, but a real great detail on here. You look at the fingers, they are fairly flexible, which comes in very handy with the guns and things like that, but the gloves on here just, I mean, you can see the way that they're rippled just looks really very cool and very realistic. He comes both with a right and left hand, well actually, I grabbed the wrong one, a right and left hand that's done for him holding his gun, but again, great detail on here with the wear, with the scratches, everything on here looks really terrific. Then he does come with a left hand that's a little bit more open, probably designed to kind of hold things, maybe even a head pull right there, or his grenades, which I'll show you, probably something along those lines. But again, very pliable fingers, so you can stick things in there and he's going to hold on to them very nicely and securely. In addition to that, he does come with a left hand that is kind of in this, you know, peace kind of look. Hey, peace, man, peace, yeah, stuff like that. And then he comes with a both right and left fisted hand, which is perfect because you're going to want this guy punching various things. So a lot of different hands that allow you to really nicely utilize all the various accessories. And again, I love that they include these. Like I said, they usually put them already attached to the hands, but as long as we have them, I think that this is still one of the best little touches that Sideshow does that Hot Toys does not. And I hope that they always continue to do this. Now, like I showed before, he does come with two swords. You got little hooks right here that go on the back of them, which I'll show you. But what's, you know, fairly nice is that the detail on here, you got a very nice silver paint, but it's also a metal sword, which is very nice. You got some really great detail down here in the handle itself, but very katana looking, specifically in the way that the hilt is and things like that. So you do get two of those with two separate sheaths, so you can have that, like I said, displayed very nicely on his back or in those hands that are specifically designed to hold these. He also does come with a smaller dagger that this is plastic. No, actually that's metal as well. And you can tell by the feel of it. So you got a smaller little dagger. You can see that it's serrated right there. And then again, a very nice holster with some real great detail on here as well. Very nicely worn and scratched up. And then you got the little hook right there that you can put on any variety of the belts that he has on the figure. Like I mentioned, he does come with 2 grenades. You can see some great detail in here with the Deadpool logo on there, kind of winking. Very, very comical. You got the little handle right there. You got a little metal clip that's actually glued kind of in position right there, so it's not going to flop around or anything like that. Well, no, actually it does kind of move, but it doesn't move a heck of a lot. But you can't really pull that out. It does kind of look like it actually goes all the way through. So maybe you... Nah, I'm not going to force it or anything, but you can see that the metal piece does go all the way through it, so you do get some swinging, I guess. You can swing the little clip there, but great detail on this, and like I said, this probably comes in very handy with this hand right here, which you can just kind of wedge in there and have them hold it like that, which works just perfectly fine. He also does come with a large rifle, which really, again, great detail on here, very nice silver wash on that. You got the barrel right there, which definitely looks like it's one of those silencer kind of barrels. And then you got this section right here, which looks like it's some kind of a scope, which can slide right on there, and you complete that blaster. So really very stellar looking on this. And again, the hands can hold it very nicely with the trigger kind of right there. You just bring this up. And again, the pliability of the fingers really helps you to kind of stretch that in there, and you can get a real nice kind of grip on that. Honestly, what even might look even better is if you rotated this around, made him a right-handed gun holder, put that in just like so, and then bring this other hand and then put that right there. That would look pretty cool. You could get some nice display options with that. Now, unfortunately, you don't get a right-handed version in this kind of configuration to kind of have the gun be opposite. Oh, no, well, I'm looking at this wrong, I suppose. You got it like that, so you're going to have him holding it kind of across his body like so, which I think would look pretty cool. I really do dig that. So, real nice option there. And the gun, I mean, like I said, you can see some real great detail all the way throughout it. I really do feel that Sideshow is getting very proficient at adding a lot of those very subtle paint details. In addition to that gun, he does come with, get this up here, he does come with 2 handguns. You got one here on the right side, one here on the left side. Just taking this out like so, getting him to stand there, stand, be good. Very nice detail on here as well. You can see that it's got this nice painted handle. This section here, it doesn't necessarily move, but this one does. I don't think it's supposed to. I think the glue actually came undone on that, but overall, still very cool looking gun. You got a little metal piece that's actually in there. They really do remind me kind of RoboCop's guns and how big that they are. And again, real great detail with the handle. You can almost see like it's spray painted on here and looks as if he did it himself, which I think is really cool. And then he's gonna fall because he's drunk. We're gonna say he's drunk, but you can see that you got the nice holster right here, and I can tell you that this is metal because this is a little magnet, and blink, that just grabs hold of it. So you can put these in, and it wants to grab it every time that I put it in its holster. So you put that in, and then you can bring that down, and you can lock that into place, which I, again, think is a really great touch. And actually, that's a pretty strong magnet on there. So tucking that in there. He comes with a ton of these pouches. They are removable, so I don't know if you actually consider those accessories as well, but you have a ton of them. I mean, he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pouches on the guy, so he definitely has a ton all over him. You can take this blade, like I said, you can hook these on any number of these little belt straps. I kind of like putting it down here by his leg. I just think it looks a little bit cooler. And then again, you can take these little swords, come around here to the back, and you got this section right here. Put that right there. Grab this one, and you can hook this right there as well, and you can kind of tuck it in between there So weapon storage is definitely there on this guy. All these straps really do add a lot to the overall look of the guy, and is just really quite stellar. Now he also does come with an alternate head sculpt. As you can see, it has this little more kind of smirk eye, I guess, kind of thing going, where he's got this kind of like raised eye look, I suppose, which really looks very cool and definitely has a comical look. You come around on the side, you can see that the sculpting for the mask is really very nice, and the fact that it looks like he's got just the mask pulled over his head. I mean, really very cool. Now, one thing that's kind of different about this that honestly threw me off initially, to take it off, all you do is you just pull it off, but you can see it's completely different than what we're used to with the regular ball joint. It's just this rounded section that kind of frictions in there, so it comes off very easily without you having to pull on it, which I think is a really nice touch considering all these little intricate parts on here and how tiny they are, and how, I mean, they're just kind of hooked on here. I mean, like you can see, this section, right, I mean, it's just a hook. So instead of grabbing hold of these and pulling, which would probably really disrupt this and make a lot of pieces fall off, they made it really nice and easy. Now, one thing is it doesn't stay on all that well, as you can see. So that's one thing that is a little unfortunate. Now, let's see, how's this one? This one stays on pretty good. You can see all the stuff just falling off. Maybe I didn't push this down. Hold on. Let me redo this. Yes, I didn't have it on all the way, but you can see it stays on fairly decently. I do apologize. I didn't want it to look bad, but if you don't put it down all the way, it will fall off of them. So be aware of it. And I just dropped his sword. So take this, put this back on there. And I'm going to pick his head. What head do I want? I like the smirk, or the kind of raised eyebrow kind of look. But you can see that these pieces, they do come off. It is a little bit of an annoyance, but honestly, I really dig the fact that they are all there and can come off. You could take them off if you wanted to and not have as many, but really, why wouldn't you want to have all these little pouches on there, just really bringing home that overall look for Deadpool? Get that in there, and it's a little pain to kind of hook it on his waist belt, but all in all, really very cool. Now, he also does come with this, which I honestly, I almost forgot about. First of all, as I said, this is the Sideshow exclusive version, so you do get the parallel universe head pool, which has this little propeller on here. You got, I mean, the amazing amount of detail on this is really quite fun just to stare at, because he's so hideous and ugly, and it just works perfectly. No articulation, but what you get is a little iron rod that you can put in the back of his head, put right in there, and it's a little bit tricky because it wants to rotate. There we go, get it in there. And then the display stand right here, you got these little holes that you just slide that in there, and then when you put Deadpool right here with it, it kind of looks like you have him floating with Deadpool, and I think that that's a great touch. The other thing that you're seeing is that he comes with some speech bubbles. Those are also attached to various rods that plug into the back of the actual display stand. You get a right and left section, and then what's cool with that is you do get, and I dropped it earlier, you do get some stickers with it. Now, it says specifically, use minimal pressure when applying the stickers so that they can be removed. I don't know exactly how reusable these stickers are, so I'm kind of on the fence with actually putting them on here. But as it says, if you don't use, full pressure, you should be able to pull them off. But you got some great one-liners. My chicken. Bang, bang, bang. Head pool attack. Pwn. I mean, all these. Fourth wall. Oh, I get it. Wait a minute. Chimichangas. Be right back. LOL. I mean, all of them real funny. Then you got some expressions here, which, like I said, are all stickers. And, I mean, I'm going to try it just because. So, let's see here. Pull one of these off. I mean, they do feel, I mean, they are stickers, so when you put it on there, be very careful. I mean, you could just put it right there. And I didn't even bother putting the other section on there. So let's see. I mean, yeah, get that on there. You probably want to make sure that you have clean hands when you're doing this. Uh-oh, it went all the way down. Let's see how easily these remove now. I don't have very good fingernails, so it's hard for me to pull these off. Come on, let's see. There we go. All right, there we go. So, I mean, it comes off fairly well. So, I mean, I would say that the reusability of these is actually pretty good. You definitely want to make sure that the surface is clean, that your hands are clean. Let's see, getting that back on there. You just line that up, and yeah, you can put it right back there and store it. So I'm actually quite impressed with this, a lot more than I thought I would be. So there's definitely some reusability, I think, but you do want to be extra careful when you're applying it. But I really like it because it allows you to do something that Deadpool really is known for, and that's running his mouth and obviously breaking that fourth wall. So some really very cool display options with this guy that really are pretty unique, I would say. Now, coming to the figure himself, I'm really quite impressed with this. I don't want to say that I think that the DC figures are bad that they've done, but for some reason, this Marvel one just really does have a much better overall presence, I think, than some of those DC figures that Sideshow has done. This is a really great looking piece all the way throughout. I mean, you can put it like that if you want to. I mean, everything on this just really comes together very, very nicely. The one thing that I think people will be a little bit weirded out about is that the way the actual head attaches. But like I showed you, if you push it down all the way, it stays on perfectly fine. He also does have all these extra little pouches that can get bumped and put out of place, but honestly, I don't think they're really all that bad. Do they open? No, they don't open or anything, but it's just the overall look of this guy really does come together very nicely. Now, first articulation, the head is on this joint right up here, so you get a nice range of motion. You do have to be careful when you move it, though, because it does require some force, very stiff, so it can detach that. You do have to make sure that when you're moving things around, that you get this section tucked under properly, because that can create a kind of ugly look for it. But just tug it, pull it up like so, and then you put that on there. Looks perfectly fine. Now, some people talked about how this is plastic and the rest is fabric, and that popped off, and that kind of throws them off because it's kind of clashing in terms of the materials. I don't think it really looks all that bad, at least in hand. It's pretty solid looking. Now, you do want to be careful with the articulation because pieces can fall off on the guy. So the neck, does that move? I feel like the neck is solid right there, but you got a very strong, heavy-duty ball joint sort of joint right up there. The shoulders do move forward and back. They move in and out. This will kind of hamper the articulation because of the cloth, but you can still get some really good poses and things like that. It rotates here at the upper part of the bicep. It feels like there's only one joint, maybe two. Maybe two here at the elbow. Yeah, I guess it's possible that there's two. I can kind of feel it moving there. So I think that there's two joints for the elbow itself. So nice range of motion there. The wrists move forward and back. They move in and out. Coming down here to the waist, it does feel like there's an upper ab crunch, and then you got a waist crunch down there as well. And again, be careful because the stuff will pop off. As it falls off, I'm just going to leave it off just because it's going to get quite annoying after a while. The hips move forward and back, but again, there is some restrictions in terms of the actual outfit. You got some solid ratchet joints here that move it in and out, but you can see you got one joint right there, then it goes there, then it goes there. So I would prefer a little bit more smoother of a joint. As it is, you kind of have to spread them out a little bit on both sides to kind of get him to balance nicely, but it's possible that you can do it, and there goes his sword or his knife. So I'm going to put that there. It feels like there's only, well, no, again, yeah, there's two joints here at the knee, but you don't get a very deep knee bend. Oh, and then also he does rotate at the upper part of the thigh. I can feel right here that, and you can actually hear the squeakiness of that joint, and then the lower portion of the knee itself. So full range of motion there. The ankles, though, get a little bit unfortunate. It can pivot side to side and do great detail on the bottom of his actual boots too. So you can get some pivot there, and then they move forward and back. But because this part comes down here and kind of covers the front, you're not getting a lot of forward, or I guess upward kind of pointing for the toe, so it can hamper a little, but all the articulation really that you could think of is present in this guy, and you can get some good poses with him. Like I said, the legs kind of, and this one's a little bit more solid, so you got here, here, here. You almost have to keep it spread like that to get him standing pretty good, and otherwise he's going to be like straight up and down like so, or really wide pose. So I don't know how I feel about those ratchet joints in there. I probably wouldn't have put those in there, to be totally honest. It just make that one seamless kind of fluid motion. But for the looks of it, I really am very, very happy with how this guy turned out. This is their first Marvel figure, I believe, and they are doing a couple others. This guy being the first, followed, I think, by the Punisher, and then a comic book version of Wolverine. And honestly, if those other two are anything like this guy's turned out, I'm going to be very, very happy with those guys. Now, all in all, I am really very happy with this figure. Everything from the accessories to the costume, the look of it. I mean, granted, the portrait is just a mask, but I think they did a great job with it. All of it came together very, very nicely. And I really do feel that collectors are going to be very happy with what Sideshow has done with this guy. And looking ahead, if their Punisher and Wolverine are half as good as this, I can see collectors being very happy for a long time to come. Now, if you're interested in picking this up, as I said, unfortunately, the exclusive version with Deadpool here is unfortunately sold out. But if you want to pick up the regular version, it is still available at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description where you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.
Seriously, roll credits. We're done here. Woo! That was awesome!
Deadpool! Hey! You did it, buddy. Look, I know